we're going to get started, okay? Hey,
Beautiful.
This is Dr. Beverly Shropshire Orr, and I'm coming to you right now with Quantum-N-tanglement. This is one of my really good, I call him my son in another life, because I really believe he was at one point. But anyway, so his name is Sean Courtney, and Sean is a practitioner, a holistic health practitioner in Chicago. And I've known him for about almost maybe 2 years now, and not really known him. I just met him, about 8 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago, through a Zoom call where he was actually taking one of my courses. So we're going to welcome Sean and welcome Dale with us here today. We're so happy to have both of them. We got two for the price of one. And we're just going to talk about the Heely, because right now that's really, I guess it's like number one thing in my life going on right now. And as far as our group and our community, that's a really big thing. But because it's so popular, everybody hasn't gotten theirs yet. So I wanted to shoot this, have this little session here so that we could get people to know about it, get people to understand it. And if you don't understand it, it'll make you curious enough to pick up the phone and call somebody to find out what it is that this is. So this is Sean Courtney. Hey, Sean. Hey, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, Dr. Bev?
Going great, going great. Thank you so much for being with me. And Dale, thank you so much for being with me. There she is, there she is. Thank you, Dale. And this is Dale. You want to introduce yourself, Dale?
Yeah, my name is Dale. I'm a nurse by profession, and I'm originally from the Philippines. I worked here in Chicago from 9 at the orthopedic floor and mostly medical surgical floors. So.
Okay. Awesome. Well, again, it's such a pleasure to have both of you here with us. And I'm going to ask you, Sean, do you have other things open on your desktop? Because I'm going to close off some things here just so that I can have complete and perfect. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've been working kind of all morning, so I wanted to, and just kind of call people. So I wanted to make sure I can have everything closed off so that we can have a really good recording. Okay. So tell us what you do, Sean, and how long you've been doing what it is that you do.
So my background is in health and exercise sciences. And so I've been doing this for about 10 years now.
Okay.
And really the expression of what I do is people come to see me when, they've gone to conventional ways and it hasn't worked for the most part. The people who come and see me are people who are committed to creating breakthrough results with their health and wellness goals, no matter where they're at.
Okay.
And I always like to say it doesn't really matter where you're at. It matters where you want to go and what kind of effort and focus and intention you want to put there.
Okay. So you help them with that focus and attention and even help them know where it should go. Am I correct?
Exactly. So when people come to see me, they're looking to just totally transform their lives. Some stuff may or may not be working, and it may actually be working really well. Okay. But we discovered together what's really possible for their health and wellness, and we do that with a variety of what we call ancient healing techniques. The main focus is movement and exercise, which we really address every corner of the body with our movement. No stone is left unturned, and we believe that exercise is one of the main components of this body staying healthy. So that's one of the main expressions of what we do.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's really huge. That's really big, that exercise is the biggest component of what you do. Is that because you're, a really physical person, or is it because that's the foundation of the principle that you teach?
That's really the foundation. And also I just love moving as well. And I realized that it's always been an access point for my health and well-being.
Okay.
And it's something that we all need to do if we expect to be healthy in this body.
All right. Awesome. So how did you get involved with the Heely?
Oh boy. Okay. So actually I'm glad Del's here because she's the one who's really been over the last few years mentoring me and educating me on a lot of this energy medicine stuff.
Awesome.
Because of her background. But what really got me started was at a young age being curious about how things worked.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the status quo per se and realizing no matter how good it is, it could always get better. And one of the arenas that I would always look at is how does this human body work and what is it actually? And based on that inquiry of, 32 years now, really, ever since I popped onto this earth, I've had a fascination with discovering, the deeper layers and the intricacies of the dimensions of this being that we are.
Mm-hmm.
So by process of extrapolation, getting into energy medicine over the last few years, seeing where medicine is truly trending, the Heely pretty much found me. I didn't find it. It found me. It fell right into my lap.
Okay.
Yeah. And really looking at, the future of medicine is energy, frequency, and vibration. And when we look at what the Heely actually represents, it's an all-encompassing way to approach our energetic health in all aspects of our well-being, whether it's mental, job, fitness, sleep, thoughts, everything. The Heely covers everything. And when we get down to it, we're frequency and vibration as well.
Okay. So when you say the future of medicine is energy, what do you mean when you say that the future of medicine is energy? What exactly does that mean?
So to me, it really means that when we look at what we actually are, we're
Mm-hmm.
less than 0.001 physical. Science call it spirit, they call it energy, I call it possibility.
Okay.
And what we're really starting to discover is how to leverage that 99.9% of us to really transform what we know it means to be human.
Mm-hmm.
So we're diving into this energy that's all around us, and it's all information. And,
Right.
and not all information it's not all created equal in terms of coexisting and going through us we're a medium, we're an antenna. So it's like, what energy and frequency am I bringing in? And how does that relate to my overall health and well-being and balance of things in my cells?
Okay.
Right?
Awesome.
So when we start coexisting with the field more effectively, as I call it, this world, this planet, what ends up happening is there's all this energetic exchange going on our cellular level.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have energetic exchange, cells can reproduce and die off effectively. And that's really the main building block of our health and wellness, is how well are your cells communicating?
Okay.
How well is that communication happening?
Okay, awesome. So would you link that, what you just said, in with movement and exercise? Can you link that together, the cell?
Well, what's so cool is when we exercise and move, we're actually creating possibility. We're moving through the field in a way that creates synchronicity and electrical response within the tissues. And with our muscles, with our fascia and our bones and all the connective tissues that actually move this body, that electrifies the cells as well and creates potential and possibility and energy handshakes, as we were talking before. So that's really my main access point, is understanding how this body interacts in free space with the field, and understanding how that relates to energy and frequency. Without energy and frequency, it wouldn't even be possible.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So our body can take that energy and utilize it. If what I'm understanding, it utilizes it so that when we move, then it seems like instead of just being one solid something moving through space, we're actually all of us, all the many quantum parts of us are moving. Is that what I understood you to say?
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm getting it. That's good. So when you talk about the Heely, who invented it? How did it come about?
So a German by the name of Marcus Schmiecki,
Mm-hmm.
he was a monk for a while. He's a scientist. He actually had a company called Time Waver. And there was a lot of doctors and practitioners, one specifically by the name of Nino Nuna. He's a Portuguese guy. He's a doctor. And a lot of these practitioners all over the world were using this microcurrent frequency technology on thousands of patients.
Mm-hmm.
And what they realized is it really worked. And it was super powerful for just balancing out these energies, because when we focus on the state of disease, it's just a lack of ease. So what they were finding with doing this microcurrent therapy is things were balancing themselves out. They were having great results. So Heely is like what Marcus did is he took the product and he brought it more to a commercial level, so to speak. He wants a Heely in every single home.
Wow.
And rightfully so, because looking at what it really represents, we can send ourselves health frequencies to balance our body out. I want everyone to really recognize that your body heals itself. And when we get the right energy into our body, different dimensions of our being go to work in healing and creating possibility.
Mm-hmm.
So the Heely really represents the future of medicine. It's not necessarily trying to hit home a disease state, but rather focusing on wellness and wholeness and how to keep our body in balance so that it's communicating with the field effectively and not creating too much friction, as I like to call it, through the field and through life.
Okay. So who is the Heely for? I mean, you've mentioned a wellness, it's a wellness device, and then on the other hand is making the body healthy. So who is it for? I mean, somebody that's in the disease already, is it good for them, or is it better for the person who is slightly healthy or trying to be healthy, focusing on their health and just want to prevent illness?
Well, that's a really good question. Really thinking about how easy it is to use, how it really dramatically affects the cells. It's for everybody. It doesn't address a disease state, but it's going to help your body understand how to balance itself out. So it's giving it information to balance itself out. So really, when you think about that, it doesn't matter if you're an elite athlete, if you're bedridden, the Heely has a potential to benefit anybody that uses it.
Okay. All right. I like that energy. So it doesn't discriminate against anybody.
Nope.
Okay. Whether you're sick or whether you're well. Okay. I love it. I love it. So what are some of the different programs? If you could just let us dive in, because I mean, you work with me a little bit just to let me experience a remote, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, before I knew it, I had tingling in my hands, tingling in my feet. And then by the second one, I had tears running out of my eyes. And then by the end of it, it's like tears were everywhere. So, oh my gosh, what is just happening? So it was just.
That was really cool.
Yeah. That's on your end, but on my end, oh my gosh, it was really cool. It was really cool. So tell me about some of the programs, because I haven't gotten mine yet, and I'm just kind of living through you and yours. So if you could share with us some of the programs.
Well, okay, so first and foremost, I got a text message coming in. This is the Heely. This is the quantum generator, I guess you could say. This is really what the secret sauce of the technology. And as you can see, I have a wristband as well, but I prefer the wrist just because it just feels better to me. So really what's so cool is you can wear the Heely anywhere. And I'm actually going to open up my programs right now so you can all see the wide variety of things. So watch, I'm turning on my Heely right now.
Okay.
You gotta have your Bluetooth on.
Now, was the setup difficult for you?
No, it's really intuitive.
Okay. That's a nice way to put that.
Yeah. So can you see that, Dr. Bev?
I can see that, yes. I have chakras, crown chakra, third eye chakra, throat chakra, heart chakra, move it up a little bit, okay? Solar plexus chakra, sacral chakra, and root chakra, yes.
Yeah, so some of the programs that they have are the chakras. Some other stuff, just that you all get a picture of, they have different meridians. They have the lung meridian, the lymphatic meridian, the nerve meridian, the spleen and pancreas, kidneys, organ, hormonal balance, liver. Wow. I'm just reading some of these in the meridian programs. There's small intestine, there's large intestine, there's bioenergetic balance, which has things like liver function, prostate, thyroid gland, joints and bones, sciatica, toenails, bacteria, food sensitivities. And I know there's a lot that I'm saying, but I just really want to paint a picture as to how many areas of life are covered in this amazing technology.
Yeah.
You have things like allergies, nerves, menopause, flexibility, hormones, circulatory system, immune system. That's been a big one on the topics like better immune system. Now there's also beauty and skin.
That's the one you did. That's the one that had me tearing up. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Well, the program that we were doing the other day was the inner beauty. That's a really powerful one. So get this, there's also mental balance. There's job and sleep. There's fitness.
Okay, wait. Job and sleep. So when you say job and sleep, what do you mean job and sleep? Job.
Okay, so job? Yeah. So I'll read some of the programs. So there's extreme stress.
Okay.
There's fatigue. There's positive thoughts. There's activation. There's balanced sleep. There's exhaustion, systemic. So if you're exhausted.
Okay.
And there's also bed rest and fine flow.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's like, if you need activation to really get going, there's a program for it. If you need to balance yourself out to think right, there's balanced nerves and positive thoughts.
Okay.
If you're just darn tired, use bed rest or balanced sleep.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
And then
so
there's also,
which one do you have? Which one is that you have?
so I have the Heely Resonance, which is
Okay.
the top of the line model, which really takes it to the next level. These programs that I'm discussing right now, these are all in the package of, and you can see like how it's yellow in different colors. You can see the different programs. This is all part of the Holistic Health Plus and Down. The Resonance has a second application to it. It's a little bit different. And what's so cool about the Resonance is, especially for us practitioners who want to get to the heart of what's really going on with this person energetically, you can actually take a picture of their aura. And it'll actually tell you where all 7 chakras are in terms of balance, and it'll give you like, I'd like to call it like a recommendation on, okay, like really focus on this, and this is probably what you're thinking. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And that can also scan the person's retina, where you put your thumb on the screen, and then it'll tell you based on the Heely programs which one their body's calling for most, and then you can send them that program too.
Wow.
So you can know exactly what frequency program the person needs. Yeah. And the thing is I've been doing this with people, and they're like, how did it know I was having a hard time sleeping? Because then a sleep program will show up. Like, how did you know I was in pain? It's like, I didn't, the Healy did. So it analyzes the body very quickly and very efficiently. It gives us, people who are actually really observing people and assessing them, gives us a ton of information on how to move forward on things that there's just no way you'd be able to gather in like a short amount of time like the Healy does. It's amazing. So
how would a layperson use it? You know, if you had a client to come in, because I would say that, you know, even if I'm working with a client, and I work mostly on emotional programs, so even if I'm working with a client, I say, you're still going to need me because you still need to know how to, you know, break out, conceptualize all of this information. And that's a lot of information. Is that accurate?
So you know, it definitely seems intimidating. And what I would say is that with a little bit of practice of using a smartphone and understanding how to use Bluetooth, which is really simple, you know, a little bit of practice and the Healy becomes very intuitive and simple. I'd say if you know how to use a smartphone or a laptop pretty well, the Healy is going to be just as easy as that, if not easier. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So are there any conditions that it works on better than others?
You know, it really just, like anything else, it depends on the person. It depends on how open they are to receiving. If someone's really open and full of discovery and they're just, okay, I'll try anything type of thing, they're going to notice an effect the minute I turn it on. It happened every time. You know, people who are a little stuck, I'll call them, you know, a little shut off, because we do deal with people like that from time to time. There's nothing wrong with them. There's just a lot to discover. You know, I've noticed that energy medicine has a little bit longer to take effect on people who are a little closed off. And that's more of them not accepting and receiving. So, you know, it's so important to just be open to life, you know, and help create an environment of ease and connection so that people are more open and receptive. And when they do become open and receptive, they're going to notice something profound in that Healy program. It happens to me every single time I've given someone a therapy.
Yeah. So do you think the Healy program will help open them up maybe?
I think so. Okay. Yeah, I do. I really do. It definitely could open you up for sure. Okay.
Okay. So tell us about your experience and what your favorite program is.
Oh, wow.
I know you've got a list of them, I'm sure.
So the first time I turned on Inner Strength, a mental balance one. And it was so interesting because I do a lot of Reiki, I do a lot of energy work, but the energy that came in the contact with my field, it was so beautiful and profound. I had tears in my eyes. It was like a gasp, like, wow.
Yeah, that's what I felt. It's like, I thought, whoa, what is this? You know, and then it's like, just running. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like, what is this? It's like, whoa, yeah. And I was gasping. I was like, really? You know, really? And so it's like, okay, yeah. I haven't had the words really to explain even now.
Yeah. It's been interesting. And what I will say is it's just like using the programs over the last couple of weeks, I just feel so much more relaxed and so much calmer. Things that would usually cause a lot of noise in my head, it's just like, whatever.
Now you did share an experience with me that you had, I think it was right after you got it, before you did the upgrade, and you were going home or going to a birthday party. Is that, and you saw some of the demonstrations, some of what's going on, and you were able to, you said, well, let's get to work.
Yeah.
You want to tell us about that?
Well, so as everyone knows, there's been a lot going on in Chicago, and there was a lot of protesters. There's a lot of madness going on the streets right by where we were some of my friends and I were hanging out, and I'm just like, let's just go to work. Let's put some energy out there. So I turned on one of my Heely programs and I got into my mode, and one of my other friends and I, we did a little bit of meditation for about 5-10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the air cleared. It was just like, it's almost like that negativity couldn't touch us if we tried. And like some of the frequency, it was so balancing. It was just like, even amongst, well, some people might call hell, it was just, we found our heaven. So it's interesting how it helps you also feel the energy. For those of us in the energy, like really in the energy, it really helps you feel the field more too.
Interesting. So
yeah,
you said you felt the energy, your energy, and you were kind of in your, did it feel like it had an effect on anyone else? I mean.
Yeah. What I've noticed is I can direct it to people when I want to. Just like the limbic arc, because it's quantum and it's, interchangeable through the field, with intention, you can send this to people while you're getting boosted or while you're doing your Healy program. That's my experience with it.
Okay. Wow. So your clients have been receptive to it. They have been receptive to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Oh my goodness. So out of all of that you said, which one is your favorite? Or which three? Okay, three. What three are your favorite?
So I love the mental balanced ones. Okay. I'll stick with that. I've been really digging on the mental balanced ones right now. With a lot of stuff going on this planet, sometimes it can feel a little heavy. And the mental balance programs, it really, I'm not really stuck in the heaviness very much at all, but I'm really not noticing it showing up at all throughout the day. Like sometimes you will have our moments of, but I don't really notice those anymore. The mental balance have been absolute life changers. Okay. Absolute life changers.
Wow. That's really, really cool. Really, really cool. So can you speak on raising the frequency and raising someone's vibration? Can you speak on that and how the Healy affects that?
So again, we're energy, frequency, and vibration. Our cells are vibrating at specific frequencies. Mm-hmm. And depending on where we're at in a given moment, they're where they're at. So when we get the Healy into it, these frequencies are in nature. It's just a coordinated effort of how the Healy has organized it in the information packets and sends to us. The cells receive it very well. Mm-hmm. And so by getting these different levels of hertz into our cells, it's actually raising our cell communication, because that's what they operate on anyways, energy, frequency, and vibration. So when we're getting these specific frequencies, these coordinated efforts of information, then this information raises the vibration. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's coming to the expression of, I'm dreaming straight through the night every night. Now, I dream a lot, but now I'm literally dreaming straight through the night.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah. And I've really been playing with the whole 7 and 10 hour rule or whatever we think we should sleep. There have been a couple nights where I just slept 3 to 4 hours. I did a Healy. I'm not recommending this to anyone, but I did a Healy and I just felt like I got 8, 9 hours of sleep still. It's amazing how much energy it gives you, because it really charges up your cells.
Okay. Wow. That's pretty amazing, Sean. That's pretty amazing. Huh.
What do you think? Like with everything that we've been thinking about and with what you understand about the field, how do you see something like this being able to really raise our vibration?
Well, when the body feels better and you feel better in your body, then you're going to be at a higher frequency. If your chakras are in an alignment, then that means that, and if they're like out of alignment, if they're up here, your thinking is off. If they're in here, then you're not, your heart could be closed or your heart is off. And if they're in the lower three and they're not aligned, then that means somewhere you're stuck in fight or flight or some kind of survival something. So if you're out of alignment, then you're not going to be at a very high vibrational thing. We talked about the map of consciousness a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about where people are vibrating. And even if people are coming in and you're going to help them, and they're stuck in those lower three emotions, those lower three energy centers, they're not going to be able to hear what you're saying anyway. So in order I can see the Healy being effective in order to raise that frequency or raise that vibration so that they can at least be able to hear and comprehend and, compartmentalize what you're saying to them that needs to happen next. So, and yeah, raising the frequency of someone, that's like turning on a switch and then being from a dark room, coming from a dark room into a light room. So that's the way I see the frequency being able to affect someone almost immediately. If you get them up here and get them vibrating up here, then you're going to start seeing different things in the world. You're going to see things that you haven't been seeing before, simply because you're vibrating at a much faster energy force, and that energy is moving a lot faster. So you're going to make decisions different. You're going to see things different. You're going to feel different. You're going to, everything's going to be different about vibrating in a much faster vibration.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's pivotal. I mean, it's absolutely pivotal, because even with, it's like you can't be sick if you're vibrating up here.
No, you can't.
It can't live in the same place. That's like having hot and cold in the same place. So if you're vibrating up here, where's the sickness going?
Well, that's what's so great about this program is it's not designed to treat disease, And again, Western medicine is okay. There are times when we need it, but this over attention to trying to find out what's wrong with everybody and focusing on symptoms, it doesn't work.
Right. I think Marcus had it right. He wanted to know what was right, and he wanted to magnify what was right. If we magnify what was right with people now, let's get into this, because people, when you're looking at what's wrong, you're going to create more of what's wrong. But if you're looking at what's right, you're going to create more of what's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you covered a lot of information, Sean. So with ancient healing and ancient technology, and with the things that you do, you've already said that you incorporate that in, and your clientele seems to be really open with accepting that inclusion of the Healy. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. So do you think you're moving forward to the place where you never go back, or you think you're moving to a place where you can just use both, or does the healing make yours, even what you do with your hands, even more effective, more stronger?
That's a good question. And what's so great about the Healy is it's not designed to take away anything that we're doing. It's just designed to complement our way of being. The Healy and this energy medicine is a way of being. It complements everything. So it makes everything that I do that much more effective.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. I looked at the list last night. There's a PDF, and I don't know if you have it, but it goes down, and it literally shows the frequency, like you named off the things that you named off as the programs that it has, but it literally showed the frequency of each element. It was PDF, and I can send it to you, but it was just amazing. It was just amazing to read down through it. And in my mind, I'm thinking of my clients. So a client just has that, a client just doing that, it's like boom, 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 because it has a frequency. There's a frequency designed to deal with everything that manifests in the body. And I just think that is so cool.
Well, that's how amazing our bodies are. They're such powerful antennas, and they're really the masterpiece, because they convert this information into what it needs, and the expression is wellness and possibility.
Yeah, and our body knows what to do with it. It knows what to do with the information. And so that's a really good part. So Dale, tell me about your experience with the Healy, and how you've been able to not get electrocuted by this electric man. How's it been?
Yes. because of about 4 years ago, I had a hyperthyroid diagnosis, and actually the doctors wanted to take out my thyroid, and I said no, just hold off on that. And at the same time, I just started to use the Beamer at the time, but I actually took the pills to lower the levels of the thyroid.
Okay.
But I started to taper it on my own because the Beamer, and I changed my lifestyle too. I love to dance, and I would go out, dancing at night and come home 3, 4 in the morning. So I cut that off first, and so with the Beamer change of lifestyle, the levels were going down, so I tapered it on my own.
Okay.
And so with this Heely, there's a thyroid program, and I got excited. I'm like, okay, I'll do the thyroid. So when it started, I could feel some, like around here on the neck part, like some kind of pulsation, and I'm like, oh wow, I think this is really working.
I love it.
I was like, oh, I think it's working. It has to be. It has to stay normal. So that's one of them. And sometimes I would feel like an all over relaxation and feeling of like, oh, I'm really good. Like this is doing good for me. I'm really good. So it's incredible. It's just amazing.
Yeah. I look, that one. I don't know if you call it a jolt, or whatever you call it, but it was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get mine. It's like, okay. So now that it's finally coming, I'm just kind of focused in on to take my mind off of it, just focusing on things I need to do to get ready, like reading the manual and looking at the programs and, going through how to put it together and going through how to set it up, because I've got people waiting for it already. And I'm just like, I am so excited, it's like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So anything else you want to share with us, Sean?
Well,
how can people get a Heely? Let's talk about how people can get one, because, and when we put this out, if people want to get one, what are some of the ways that people can get one?
So you can get them really 2 ways. You could be a customer, or you could be a member and get into the system. And with the membership, there's an opportunity to build a business.
Okay.
So there's 2 ways to really do it. And getting back with the person who introduced it to you first is the way that you would do it, if you want to get through them. But it's a simple online process. You go into the system, you make your order, and then they send it right to you. It's pretty simple. And that's when the fun starts, because when it shows up, you get to participate in the future of medicine, because for a lot of us, we've been waiting for this day.
Yeah.
And this is a representation of something really, really big, a huge move in healthcare and moving towards global wellness. So, getting back with the person you wanted that introduced it to you, and just simply ordering it online, whether you want to be a member or just a customer, everybody deserves to have their Heely.
Right. So what kind of price points are we looking at?
So there's a couple of different programs. One, you can get the watch, which is kind of like a smart, like a Google Watch on steroids. There's a million different functions, and it's so cool. It has EMF protection. You can send an EKG to the doctor. There's so many cool functions on it. That one's just under $300. And there's also a $500 watch too, depending on what programs you get.
I know that.
Now, this is the actual hardware, this little guy. And with this guy, there's a few different options. There's the gold package, which is $500. There's the Heely Holistic Health, which is about $1,000. There's the Holistic Health Plus, which is $1,500. And then there's the Big Kahuna, the Resonance, for about $2,500. The cool thing is, though, is right now America is having a promotion with their grand opening, where you can get the Holistic Health Plus, the Holistic Health for just $500. The Holistic Health Plus for just $1,000, and then you can get the Resonance for $1,500. So they're doing some amazing discounts right now. There's a promotion, as it spreads, and as Dr. Bev and I know, and Del, this thing is spreading like wildfire.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. The company was really, I think they were amazed at how fast that it caught on. And not only did it catch on, but people were like, they were doing whatever they needed to do in order to get it, because you know, when people have had so many conditions, and there are a lot of young people who have conditions that the doctors have just poured medicine into and poured surgery into, and they just, you know, they're kind of like, well, there's nothing else we can do for you, so you just got to live with it. And when they hear that there's a possibility, even if the possibility seems like it's really small, but if they seem like there's a possibility that something would help, then they're going to jump on it, and they're going to say, okay, yeah.
Especially if it's natural and it works with the innate intelligence of our body and our being,
yeah.
You know?
And that's huge. That's huge right now. So does a person need to be worried or concerned with EMFs? And I know that question comes up a lot with the beamer as well, about and working with the EMFs. Does that need to be a concern?
So the thing is the energy that the Heely is actually sending to you is health frequency. So that's where the health component comes into play. You do have to use your tablet or your phone to use the program. So there's always that element of it. So we should always consider EMF and ways to ground ourselves. Like for me, I have grounding stones all over the place in my house to make sure the house is grounded. So there's other measures that we can take, but the Heely itself sends us health frequencies. And this we'll call it, you know, energy, is actually designed to balance our body out. Now EMF, if it's non-native, as we both know, it could be detrimental to our cells. Native EMF is obviously, of course, needed for our body to actually coexist on this planet. So it just depends on the frequency.
Absolutely. And like you said, having that component in either your laptop, your phone, even your phone. I use the nano things on my phone so that I could always have some kind of protection from the EMF. So from the, you know, so it's like just having that, and you should have that anyway. You know, you should have that anyway. But as far as like you said, as far as the Heely goes, they're health frequencies, and we've been using them for years, just for health reasons, for health purposes.
Well, and even back, what was it, probably the 30s? I can't remember his name, but he made up the Rife machine. There's this frequency technology that he cured a bunch of cancer with just by using simple frequencies. And well, you know, look at the history that they stole it, they destroyed it, whatever they did. But it went unseen for a while. And when we look at, you know, a lot of energy medicine has been kind of pushed away for a while for a lot of different variants. That's why it's so amazing to see it emerging right now, because it works with the body's intelligence, and the body can then correct itself, which is really key here, right?
Absolutely. So how do they manage the frequencies? Because it says there's a lot of frequencies that we have access to. I mean, when you think about all the diseases, how do they manage all of those frequencies?
So the frequencies themselves have been arranged in specific orders and sequences to meet what they believe is a guideline to help balance out a specific area of health, right? So they take that information and they put it in the cloud where it's stored. And then by getting your Heely and your hardware, you can have that information sent to your quantum hard drive, and the quantum field is really what ultimately sends you the information. And for those of us who think that sounds woo-woo, well, just turn on your phone and make a phone call to the other side of the world. How in the world can you hear their voice and understand? Because it's a transference of energy. So this happens all the time. We're transferring energy. That's all. Like with the cloud, having the database, you access the cloud with your hardware, and the quantum field is ultimately the medium that gets the information to you. Right.
Awesome. But this has been really exciting. This has been one of the most exciting conversations I've had in a moment here. And I've had a few, I'm just saying. But it's like just the fact of health and healing. You know, one of my passions have been to help people realize that, one, the body would heal itself. And now we have something that we can actually use to help facilitate healing and put the body in a state that it liberates energy. So now that stuck energy that was once stuck, it can now heal itself, you know, take that energy and work on healing the body. So it's phenomenal for me. And I think about all the people who have passed away beforehand. You know, I've had family members that have passed away that, you know, I just wish this had been around. But I have family members who are coming that I can make sure that they have access to this here too. So that's really, really cool. Really, really cool. You got any closing words for us, or anything that you want to, like, I mean, you want to do something? What do you want to do? We got a few minutes.
Okay, so first and foremost, it's just an amazing time to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
I love waking up with gratitude, focus, and intention, because then we can really create a context of humanity that helps everybody win. So being in this health and wellness arena it's so much fun, because I'm a people person, I'm a community person, and it's just allowing me to be in action and on the court of life. So I just really want to say it's a privilege and an honor to be here with you, Dr. Bev, and you, Del. We really are on the front lines of life, as I like to say, and we're creating possibility, and this Heely is just such an amazing possibility.
That is so cool. And it's the possibilities are endless. And that's why I love they're absolutely endless. I mean, there's no limit to where it can go, and to how you can begin to work with people and how people can receive it. And everybody's different, so everybody's body's going to be different, the way they receive it and what they do with it. And that just makes it so personal. So it's like really, really cool. Really, really cool. So where can people get in touch with you? How can they get in touch with you, Sean?
They could first and foremost look at my website, twiceasfitsquare.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you could also email me at twiceasfit2@gmail.
Okay.
And then also my work number is 847-624-0565.
Okay, and you don't mind giving that out? You don't mind giving that out like on a global scale? So when people put this,
that's all right. It's all out there anyways. It doesn't matter.
They say I feel the same way. It's like, okay, I feel the same way. Yeah, and it's crazy because people call me from everywhere. I had a woman from London call the other day, and I thought, wow, yeah, and she joined my team. Like, okay, this is cool. Yeah, so,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is really cool, because what the company has done on their website, they've got in our back office, there's this big window of every social media site I think there is. Some I've never heard of, some of them are different languages, but you just click that and it takes you right there to it, and then you can just put your and boom, and it sends it right there with the Heely logo, with the Heely, everything, link, everything. It's like, this is so amazing. Yeah, it's so amazing. So when I get mine, I want to be able to go through it, because I want to be able to really know what I'm talking about. But it's just to go through and just send those links out. You can put them on LinkedIn. It's about maybe 60 sites, social media things that you can send, and they're in different languages and in all languages. So it's like, man, they've really thought this through. Really cool. So really, really cool. So if you could give anybody some closing words or something that they can say, if they didn't feel like they could get a Heely, if they didn't feel like it was for them, if you could give anybody some closing words of encouragement right now about the future of medicine and their health, what would those words be?
Well, first of all, we all deserve to be healthy and happy, every one of us. And I've been in the game long enough to know that there's something that works for everybody. So no matter what it is that works for you, be curious and be in discovery of what really works for you as an individual and as a person. Because if Heely isn't the best option for you, great, there's a million other options. So be curious about your health and wellness. There's not a one size fits all, and there's so many amazing things out there that can really help us take charge of our health and wellness. But the self-care revolution is here. We cannot expect to stay healthy and have longevity if we're not at least taking the steps necessary day to day to really focus in on keeping our body healthy. And then of course we go see a doctor and all that other stuff when we need to complement our health and gain more education. We have to be proactive about our health. And that's a necessity if we expect to start changing the health statistics in this world. It starts with each individual taking responsibility, waking up in the day and doing the best they can for their health, and getting guidance and help and camaraderie and connection with healthcare practitioners to help guide them as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things I'm doing on that note that you just said, because that was huge, and thank you so much for sharing that. One of the things I'm doing is like, I'm just imagining, I've always wanted to kind of jog and be a runner, but I've always felt like, well, my legs are too thick to be running. But in college, I did, I did, and I think I did it just to just to get an A out of the class. But it's something that I did not enjoy. So I'm really hoping that just, I would love to be able to, to just do a marathon, even if I didn't have to win. I don't have to win. I just need to finish, to do something like do a marathon. So I'm thinking about the things that I want to do in order to represent this over 60 gang that I can do that, just can, that catapult health and movement and into our generation. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to see myself doing these simple activities that are not so simple to me. They're not so simple to me, but I would love to see myself doing them because I haven't done them. And I just think, okay, this part of my life, I want to be different. So what are the things that I can do in this part of my life that I didn't do in the other part? And it's like, well, if not Heely, then what? If Healy's not going to do it, then what's going to do it?
Well, to run a marathon, some applied functional science, some movement, some specific movement is going to be really helpful for you with that.
Okay, so you're the specialist I can call for that, right?
Of course.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
So Dr. Bev, I
Yes.
got to ask you, with a healthier and happier world, what do you see that's possible for humanity?
For humanity?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one, Sean. Because for the past, since things have been going on with the COVID and with the riots and all going on, when I drove by last Monday and I saw people rioting, I thought, I haven't seen this since 1968, when Martin Luther King got killed. And I thought it was kind of surreal. It's like, yay, they're doing something, but then why do they have to do that? It's kind of like both things. It's like, yeah, they're doing it, but this is 2020 is a long way from 1968, and we're still having to march. So I thought, okay, the one thing that will bring the planet and that has a collective consciousness of the planet is raising the frequency of everybody. So I'm thinking with this, it would give us an opportunity, instead of having such a collective energy in the lower, slower energies, and the fear, and the scarcity, and the and the anger, and all of that, that if enough people get their Heelys and learn to manage their state and keep their frequencies moving high, then remember in our class we said that one person vibrating at a rate of between 700 and 1,000 can affect 1 million people. Dr. David R. Hawkins. So if we start, this movement of where we're raising the frequency of the world, of our community first, and then as we get our community at the, to synchronize, and we can do it at, at this point, at this time, and then we get more people, add more people, and we're synchronizing our efforts, and we're combining our efforts, and we're making a collective effort, then we can start raising the frequency of the planet. And then that's going to make a pivotal difference. That's going to be really interesting to see how that, once we really raise the vibration of the planet, what happens to people now? Because we know what it's like when they're living in a lower energy. We know what that's like. But we haven't experienced, and everybody's up here vibrating really high. So that's what I would love to see in my lifetime. And I want to be a part of that movement. I want to usher that in. I want to help usher that in. So, yeah. So
you already are.
Oh, good. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, Sean and Dale, you have been such a pleasure. It's been such a fun, pleasant pleasure to have you with me. I want you to come back and just talk after you've had it for a little while, and your clients have been able to see some differences and see some changes. I would love for you to come back and let us know, and especially you, Dale, with your thyroidism. I would love for you to come back and just share with us, give us an update on things, and talk to us, and let us know some of the really fun, creative things that you're doing, with not just the Heely, but how's the Heely contributing to that new life that you have now that your energy is high, your frequencies are high, your vibrations are high, and how you're affecting people around you. I just think it's just so phenomenal. So thank you so much. Huh?
You just tell us when and where we'll be there.
Okay, and I will. I'm holding to that. I'm holding to that. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. I just love you so much, and I look forward to working with you and seeing you again. And I appreciate your time in doing this for me, because it's it's something new that we're doing and working on, and I want to see it spread throughout our group, and just so people can just say, okay, well, yeah, they look like me. I can do that. Yeah. Oh, they got a Healy. Oh, I can do that. So once people see people doing it one time, then they say, okay, well, if one person can do it, that means another person can do it. So that's what I want. I just wanted to be able to spread like that. And I'd like to see that in my lifetime.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Dr. Bev, I got to say, do you want to just sit here for a second and do a little bit of breathing? I just turned on the heart chakra program. Do you want to breathe for a second?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So just so the camera and this is what the heart chakra program looks like as it's going.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yes, I can. 12 hertz. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So why don't we just focus on that heart chakra, and let's just close our eyes for a second and let's take some breaths. Thinking of that green emerald just swirling around your midsection and your heart, feeling that electricity, that vibration, that pure love. Take a nice big breath in and hold it at the top. Presence yourself to your heart space and exhale. So let's put our hands in our heart space. Let's take a nice big breath in again and hold it at the top. Hold it. Big breath in. And exhale. One more big breath in and hold it at the top. And exhale. Letting our hands relax for a moment. Noticing the tingling and bolts of energy shooting through the body, radiating from our midsection and our heart.
Wow.
Now, how's that one feeling in comparison to the other one the other day?
It's really good. It's really, really good. My heart is just pounding. It's pounding so hard. Right? It's a good pound. But it's like, oh my gosh, yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sean.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Love you both, and looking so forward to the next time of us getting together.
Love you too, Dr. Orr.
Thanks. We love you. I love you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time. Bye-bye.
See you soon.
All right. Look forward to it.
Me too.